phone number. Oh, I have it. Thank you. Welcome.
So great to be in Anarchapulco again. I was here last year. It was such a nice event, and this year it's gorgeous. It's amazing time since Liberland started. It's a wonderful journey for me personally, and of course for everybody around me. Sometimes even too excited. And the journey. Can I have a presentation? The journey started like this. With a couple of friends. And of course, with now my first lady, that is back in the door, there. We just stick a flag in the middle of territory which was not claimed by anybody for more than 25 years. We went there like this, nothing big. Just the three people and a small idea of a big freedom for these new citizens of a new state. It was enormous. We just three people, nothing more than libertarian beliefs and media coverage. A very small media coverage, actually, which was done by this man that was there with us. He just published the first article. And then it was an enormous storm. There was not a single media that couldn't put up something about Liberland. Maybe just Forbes magazine, that's the only one that I know about that didn't write about anything about Liberland. And we founded it purposefully on 13th of April, which was the birthday of Thomas Jefferson, 272nd birthday of Thomas Jefferson. And we did it purposefully to revoke or invoke the spirit of American Revolution, which many of the Americans can relate to that, because as you probably noticed, the level of freedom in America is diminishing every single year. And they were kind of smiling because the only building we had on the territory was this building. And they said, this is their parliament, take a look how shitty their parliament is like. They're even unable to put together their own building there. And of course they were making fun, and we said, yes, this is going to be very likely the seat of the government. We want this seat to be this small as long as possible. Basically to have somebody like a chief of police, we'll talk about it a little bit later, have somebody who will take care of justice, and then somebody who will take care of diplomacy probably in that window. And then something like a small assembly of people that will do something like a parliament does. And yes, I think it's achievable. I think you can run a state if you're working just with these three basic institutions. It's actually very much feasible. I don't think that you need a state larger than 2 or 3% of GDP. That anything above that is more harming the citizens than it would be helping them. So, Liberland is a beautiful piece of land. It was a kind of gift from heaven for Liberlandians. It was one of the very few pieces left on earth which were unclaimed by any country. We've got nice sandy beaches, we've got Danube River, and this nice island, Liberty Island. We've got a great advantage that this Danube River actually is an international waterway, which gives us free access to Liberland anywhere around the world. We are basically having an ocean next to our land. And the idea behind Liberland, of course, is a simple one. And many of you probably heard about this quote. I heard it some 5 months ago, and I'm still amazed by it, how well it describes what Liberland is about. You cannot change things by fighting the existing reality. To bring a change, just build up something new, and it will take away the obsolete history. And this is exactly what we are doing. We don't care what the other states are doing. We're just building the state as we see it fit. And of course, in order to have a state, there are some criteria. The Montevideo Convention has set up 4 criteria for the land, for the state. It must have a population, it must have a defined territory, it must have a government and capacity to enter into relations with other nations. And let me go over how successfully we have complied with these terms. And by the way, the Chicago Journal of International Law argued that we have fulfilled these criteria. Now we have 438,000 people registered on our website, interested in the citizenship. And I know many of you actually in this room have applied for citizenship. So we have filtered that out to something like 120 people that are serious. They filled in most of the information. And it's amazing that around 78,000 people not only apply for citizenship, but they also want to start doing business there. We've got land, it's well defined. We are the only country that has a land registry for this piece of land. In order to avoid any border disputes with either Croatia or Serbia, we have actually given both countries a half-meter extra. We can see it on our registry. It's a cadastrum.ll.land. The preciseness of our borders is actually 10 centimeters. And we had gotten a great gift from Serbia, which only 11 days after we started the country, publicly stated they don't mind creation of Liberland, it's not formed on their territory. Despite Croatia actually claiming this piece of land is Serbian. And the whole world kind of complying. So we were sort of given this piece of land by Serbia, which stopped claiming it some 25 years ago. And we've got a government, and I'm honored to have a great gentleman on board with me. First one is Thomas Walls, our Minister of Interior. He's a very skilled diplomat. He was working for American diplomacy for a number of years with the embassy in Berlin. He was the one who was organizing the negotiation for Dayton agreements, so even he has got experience locally. We've got Dennis Pierce, who was working for a number of governments. Now he is organizing our Ministry of Interior. So if you want to, help, for example, with that, now he's working on our ship registry, on our car registry. We've got Ministry of Finance, Jan Krabek, a very skilled individual, the only other Czech guy in the government, who is doing tremendous work. He's the one organizing our company registry right now. And then we've got a chairman of Liberland Economic Council, Alexander Borodin, a very famous venture capitalist who decided he will help us to get the first businesses in Liberland on a little bit larger scale. So he's launching a big competition for startups in a couple months from now. And just to give you a little bit of idea, we just had a financial report from the finance ministry coming, so the institution is functional. And I was happy to find out that we had a 10% budget surplus, which compared to other countries I think is a kind of a success. I'm also happy to announce that more than around 40% of our income came in bitcoins, which is also I think a great result for a new country. And of course we are the first country to accept bitcoin. And we've got now 86 representatives all around the world, which makes us, for example, more represented than countries like Slovakia. And I think it's a good result. It's not even 2 years since Liberland started. Many people actually tell me, you started Liberland 10 years or 8 years ago. Okay, we started it some, year and a couple of months, year and 10 months ago. And you can see the green places, the greener ones, those are the places which we basically have a representative office less than 3 months. So we keep on expanding and we keep on picking up the good people. Let me just give you a small idea. You can read much more about it in our brochure, which is there in that stand right behind the corner. For example, 2 representatives. A lady from Qatar, she was the entrepreneur of the year. She's got a great portfolio of businesses. in Qatar. She's very hopeful with us on board, expanding our diplomatic networks in Middle East. For example, in Bahamas and Bermuda, we've got Richard Holson, who is having one of the biggest insurance companies, and he's got also a tremendous amount of contacts in the region. And you can imagine, we've got 84 more representatives all around the world like this. And we've got a big pool of people that we can choose from. It's a great thing to actually have almost 500,000 people on board when you're a building organization. And you know, our representative offices are usually not just people, there are also buildings behind where you can go and do stuff. This is our representative office in Prague, so if you ever come to Prague, feel free to visit. We are partially running other agendas from there for now. It's a former representative office or former residence of the Danish ambassador. So I'm happy that they moved out and they let us use it. It still has a diplomatic status. This is our representative office in Berlin. By the way, Vitvala is a company that is helping us to keep it. And they're the great guys that you have to pay only 0.5% fee if you want to have your Bitcoin-based credit card. So a little bit of advertisement for them. But it's also one of the best co-working spaces in Berlin. And we've got lots of political parties on board because our representatives are working hard to get the country recognized. So there is more than 15 political parties that call directly for recognition of Liberland. And one of them is also the biggest opposition party in Turkey, which was very much amazing when I found out that they decided to support us. So whenever they come in power, Liberland is basically recognized by Turkey. And it's not only that. The diplomats are also coming to our events, which is great. I think last time we had diplomats from 4 different countries. We had diplomats from Belize, from Syria, from Oman, coming to our diplomatic events in Prague. And we got support from people, of course, like Gary Johnson. He said that recognizing Liberland would be the first thing that he would do when he becomes president. That didn't materialize. But still, it was a great support at the time. Good ties to the Trump administration. You can read about it in Washington Post. So we are utilizing these connections. We've got support or endorsement from Prince Saddam of Liechtenstein. I just came from Liechtenstein, and I met also with Prime Minister, with Foreign Minister. We've got even support of people like Said Kamal, the chairman of the whole group in European Parliament, and some 15 more members of European Parliament. So it's a pretty good support. Okay, this is for the serious stuff. But I think this is actually explaining much better what you need to have a country. And a lot of people are asking me what it takes to build up a country. You can't be a real country unless you have here an airline. It helps if you have some kind of football team or some weapons, but at the very least you need to have a beer. And yes, another one now, and it's turning fast like hell. Receiving pictures from different pubs in Czech Republic, and it's now being on the menu. It's going to be big in Serbia and in Croatia. We're getting new breweries to actually brew it in both countries, and we want to get this global. Okay? And I can tell you guys, this is one of the best beers you will ever taste. It received 10-star rating from the rating websites for beer, and it is really good stuff. And of course, we have an airline. We started only 2 weeks after the country was started. It was pretty amazing. Okay, now we've got Cyrus, a small plane, but we're also getting a couple of jet lines pretty soon, so that's going to be interesting. And of course, it's not a company like usual. It is a kind of people are getting together and putting their plans together and renting them. But it's very fun, and I really like the way that this is being created. And we also have an airline, not only airline, but also a football team. Of course, you can join our football team. It has on the website. I think there are dozens of other sport teams that you can join. But not only that, not only sport and beer, we also have enormous support from lawyers. For example, we've got 100 lawyers that applied for citizenship. We've got 1,300 architects that applied for citizenship. And some of the names were amazing. Maybe you heard about Zaha Hadid. She was probably the most famous female architect, and her CEO is a great help from the early days of Liberland. He organized architectural competition so people can visualize what could be built in this place. And there are amazing things that came out of this competition. People being more pragmatic, more eco-friendly, more open. And Patrick Schumacher is a great support because he's into free market urban planning. He's got his own concept how market can be used to avoid state in the planning of the cities. And I think that's a very good approach that we need specialists, because that is a complicated topic and it needs some thought before we run the whole show. That was, for example, designed from Poland. That was designed from Argentina. A professor of Harvard University, a team of 5 people, have designed a very nice city for 120,000 people, kind of an air place. And there were other designs. This was, an idea to turning the whole place into a big golf course with a lot of nature, which I think would be also very popular with some people and bringing a lot of business to Liberland, with having basically companies on these towers and having these towers connected with some sort of train, being a little bit more futuristic, and also with these kind of houseboats on the river, so they can go up and down whenever the flooding comes, which by the way inspired us greatly. And so, we've got 2 issues right now. We've got flooding, which comes, sometimes it comes every year, sometimes it takes 3 years, and 2/3 of Liberland go underwater. That is a problem. So of course, it's not an issue if we just build a wall around the island. The other issue is, of course, Croatians. That we are solving many different ways, legally, and also through different settlement efforts. But the truth is that at this stage, we are enjoying the status quo which has been built. And I sometimes make jokes about it, that we will build a wall, that we will let Croatians build a wall and pay for it. I think we have win some points with Trump for that statement. But this is exactly what is happening, right? By the fact that they have protected this territory, maybe even overprotected, they actually created and defined our borders. And they're doing it quite strictly now. I've got a bigger announcement at the end of this presentation, but let me talk about the ways we are actually going around it. And I can tell you that with support of the Bitcoin.com, we got one of the first settlement units that will be permanently stationed in Liberland starting 13th of April. And that's it. 12 people will be living inside of Liberland on the international waterway. It will be also used for example, weddings and other social events. So there will be a first permanent unit inside of Liberlandian waters. We also are working on a concept of small houseboats with the Hahari, so people can come and enjoy living on houseboat inside of Liberland. And we have a bigger plan for the end of this year to actually put there a bigger ship which can have first Liberland companies, it could have a restaurant there, a small spa. So that project is already on the way, and I'm happy that there are private entrepreneurs taking the lead in that effort. And there are not only, of course, there are physical things going on in the territory of Liberland, but there are things like a domain registry, company registry. We've got our own market where you can buy stuff for Bitcoin. We've got our e-residency app, so people can also become e-residents, and that is going to be much more expanded. By the way, who does use Estonian e-residency? We've got a couple of people here. And then we want to have a similar product, but based on using blockchain technologies, and have that really kind of up-to-date, state-of-art technology. So people can not only have their identity with Liberland and their card, but they can also socialize and do business anywhere they are around the world using Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. So there are lots of things that need to be built on the level of institutions. And these things are all important, and they create a state. And so we've got this long-term plan from this was created right after Liberland was created, and I'm still sticking to this plan. This year we'd like to get at least partial territorial control, have a stable government, infrastructure development. Next year we'd like to consolidate the number of citizens, have a stable way how new citizens are created basically, and have an investment expansion. And by 2020, it's only 3 years from now, we would like to have at least a partial international recognition for the country. And I think it's achievable in this time frame. And have around 150 embassies or representative offices, and have already a 25 billion budget surplus. And I think it's also achievable with the way that, for example, finances for Liberland are going. And of course, the ultimate goal is to build up another Hong Kong, is to build up another Monaco. But, the best place, not just some tax paradise, but the best tax paradise. And not just tax paradise, but also a paradise, for everybody to enjoy, not just for companies, but for private individuals as well. I've got a great news for you. This flag was put in Liberland a week ago without any problem. The people stayed there, they occupied the territory for a number of days, and there was no problem. And maybe that was the result of the fact that my speech was delivered to Croatian Parliament, and that my brochures and my speech was delivered to all members, important members of Croatian government, and that things are moving forward. I've got also great news that we've got an alliance with one of the candidates in Serbia in the parliamentary election, presidential election, which will, I think, improve the name of Liberland a lot in Serbia. So we are moving things forward, and of course it takes great effort. It takes a lot of resources to be well recognized in those two countries, but that's one of the things that we are focusing on right now. So who we are looking for? We are looking for more e-residents, for diplomats, hackers, entrepreneurs, and I know this is exactly the group of people that is here. We are looking for more lawyers, and especially we are also looking for more tourists. So if you feel like visiting Europe someday, don't only visit our representative office in Prague, but please feel free and visit Liberland as well. And there will be 2 bigger events this year that I would like to pitch. One of them is a celebration on 13th of April, the celebration of 2nd year of Liberland's foundation. And that will be, actually we'll take a boat from Hungary and we will sail down to Liberland. It will be a 3-day event with a number of nice lectures and social gathering. And the other even bigger thing is that we got an offer to organize a world championship in jet surfing in Liberland. So it will be, I think, a nice event, very typical for Liberland because it's on water. It's a very nice modern sport that you can guys enjoy and try. So that will be another major event in the summer. There will be much more, but I have just chosen these 2. So thank you very much for listening to me. I hope we will, somehow see you in Liberland, and great to be here.